Someone they pay up I know. Somebody just won't know where you been. I'm not you ever wait. Somebody you are. Yeah, but you just go. Somebody is your demo. I'm there, I leave away. I'm aware of what you about the way you do. Not where you been. Where you been? That's a one day big one by you. About you know where you been. Go to by your team. So, my own. Sabakio. So what's your way, my own? I'm not seeing any way you been. See the way you do. So you work with my young guy. No matter baby, boy, my own. So what's your way, my own? So you're the mom by young guy. The way you do. I'm a bear. One day I lean out with a bag. Onora, say, number what you wait you. No much of your man where they will go say, so. Well, I'm more aware. I know that you don't run your way. What in a room where you been? Come on, get over. Pato, Onore. Like we don't play. Pato, Onore, my brother. No matter what by you, no matter my level. Be said by your boy, come away, see another, way you. I'm not in no matter what my so what's your way, my own? Come away, don't say him like that. No more job by them. Come away, don't matter no right on the way. Oh, you're not done again. Can it away again? Mama, the way you did over. I know someone they better one can be anything about. And you will. Get you. So what more? So we are blue. So we be on the camera for Marisa there. The mom they are there. Say I babo punch up. Apa me alu ye be. President Olivier no blood that we say beba. Baba Isa. Canada. They got Olivier no blood that we. See how my own. Mama Lia. Ajiwa. Money ever your blood winner. I did you, Mama Patel, someone
Good evening to our welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here this evening. Good evening, welcome. This is the Diaspora Informative News Magazine, Liberia Public Radio. This is All Things Considered, taking you on a ride from the southeastern side of Liberia, Grandview County. Let's go. Welcome, my man. Clarence Davis is in the house. Alice is here. Gefla is in the house. And we say good evening. Welcome to your redemption is gained this evening because the independents are in control.
Okay. Mama, they were Pierrette. Can you please get a voice?
Welcome, welcome. This is the Liberia Public Radio. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. A lot is at stake. What a beautiful song here this evening. Wow, what a beautiful song, beautiful song. When you see it like this now, it means I want to go inside and get a counter to get some market meat. Yeah. Unfortunately, when people bringing that meat nowadays, they throw them all out. I'm not sure whether that Clarence Davis, they are the one responsible to get this going. So we don't know. We say good evening and welcome. This is your informative news magazine. Alita is here. Glasgow, Augustine is in the house. Kennedy, Bishop. Is that Bishop for George? We are Bishop or Reverend Wright Bishop? We are the Bishop. Bishop Waters. Okay. Wilson Boyd is here. Kennedy is in the house. We say good evening to welcome. This is Liberia Public Radio, Diaspora Informative News Magazine. This is the rhythm that introduces the program, All Things Considered. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Good evening, good evening. I'm Alfonso Z and Salt of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Good evening. Welcome to the show. This is the building. It is a center of gravity at this point in time in Liberia. We have no idea what's going to happen. And if the decision comes down, who's going to listen, who's going to execute. These and many more are going to be our conversation here this evening. However, the analysts are at liberty to choose their own talking point, and we will do that exactly here. We will hold them accountable, responsible of what they say and what they talk, because they are part of the process. They are always in the business of protecting their own alligator as well. So we will do everything possible to hold them accountable as well. And so temple of justice, the higher court of the land, all eyes, whether you are in Liberia, you are outside of Liberia, people are listening. And the conversation so much varies to the extent is self-interpretation to that. Let's take a quick break. I will be back. Our analyst, Jerry Barker, is here backstage. We want to be bringing him. He's one of the Washingtons, and we'll be hearing from him. The restorations of Alexander Benedict Cummings of ANC. Will Nima restore the political layers of Alexander Benedict Cummings? Ida Gonglo in one of the biggest political fights in her career. These and many more, and of course, the analyst's own self-talking point. And you, as a viewer, as analyst, your voice or voices will be heard here this evening because the independents are in control. The liberals this evening, the liberals, they will be dismantled. They will have a minimum input. We allow them, they will speak. We always give them the opportunity. But you're not going to hear no Chinese phone here tonight because Jerry and his guy, they have no capacity. Wednesday night, they gain redemption. So Clarence, I'm not sure how Clarence even going to go, but he's going to be okay. Just get a blood pressure cup. If it is going up, call your daughter, your wife, and they can take it. I will be right back. I am the Alfonso Z, and so what's up the Liberia Public Radio.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events, such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services, and your friends in business.
Good evening, good evening. Today is Wednesday. This is your informative news magazine. All things considered comes your way every Wednesday. Wednesday is the day of freedom. It is the day of redemption. It is the day where you have your say in Liberia. It is the day that your civil liberties are now seized by the liberal wings of this network. It is the day there's no Korean phone, there's no Chinese phone, there's no Iraqi phone. But it is the day where you can place your call and speak your mind, whether you agree or disagree with your government. It is your government, not their government. It is your government. They project themselves as the owner of Liberia. And so the liberal wing of this network, they're doing everything possible to sanction your voice, not to be heard about Liberia. They say you are not in Liberia, so they don't want you to talk about Liberia. They want you to speak their language, but we are here to decode their language and give you the true meanings of who they are, what they represent, and what they are doing to our country. But who are they? Is it that they are out of words now, so they are just putting up this sort of a, like Roman said, dry face to get it out of their hand? They are taking us back, and we should forge ahead. No more blame game. You told us you were coming to get it done and get it done right, but they are not. They are not. But you know what? We will always have them here to give their side of the story. Even if they are having some rough time, we will still give them the opportunity. Listen to them. It is in their own words, not me, not my creation. It's not an AI.
Things are getting out of hand in Liberia. I'm not too sure why, but from everything that we've been reading, it doesn't look good.
Everything we've been reading, it doesn't look good. Things are getting out of hand. What is getting out of hand? He couldn't tell you exactly what is getting out of hand. But I'm here to break it down in the simplest. We will simplify that simultaneous equation to the extent that it will no longer be simplified. And that's not just auto aid.
The host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Turn to Bishop of LPR. My goodness. Well, they are here. We will bring them in. They're coming. They're coming. Some coming from Waterloo in, not Waterloo in Freetown, but Waterloo in the USA. Another guy right closer to me here. He's my own guy, but his friend now is the liberal in California next to Nancy Pelosi. What a beautiful night here this evening. The final arbiter of the justice in our country, Supreme Court. All eyes. Joseph Boykai, what is happening? Is he talking? Is he now interfering when he says he's not going to do it? Well, I'm going to bring them their folks here. Joining me now from the ocean state of Rhode Island is LPR security analyst Jerry Bacon is here. From Des Moines, Iowa is James Acque, a former state broadcaster, Liberia Broadcasting Corporation, ELBC is here. And of course, the trumpet of the liberal wing of this network, based in California. He had his party, Liberty Party. He destroyed Liberty Party. It's divided into 2, 3, Musa Ability to one part, Nyompi Kanga carry her own, Darius Dillon get one in Morovia. So what he did, he decided to seek political shelter with Unity Party, Joseph Nyumaboyka. The Liberal Progressive, Samson Branto is here. Let me bring them in. Let them have their day in court. Gentlemen, good evening. Welcome. Today is Wednesday, and it's all things considered. All eyes on the fundamental justice of the land. That's the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia. The president right now is no qualified now. I'm not sure what this guy is going to say today. A lot is unfolding, but gentlemen, happy Wednesday. Welcome to the show.
Good evening from the ocean state, where the sea breeze will blow you. But I believe you are incarcerated yourself, so you can enjoy that facility. So, but I'm enjoying it. So I would say thanks for having me. I'm just a child from Wyandotte to sit on the platform with the intellectual. I'm privileged to be here.
Okay, let's go to Des Moines, Iowa, Waterloo. Is it from Waterloo? You not change to ELBC, ELBS. They are all fanatics of the Boasians, and that is okay. We will accommodate them. And tonight we're going to set the ground rules, the basis of our conversation, because I am focusing on what is ahead of us. I'm not going back to Helen Johnson Sirleaf and all of those people and blah, blah, blah. That's not what's going to happen. The Liberal Progressive, good evening. Welcome. I'm not hearing you. Talk to me. What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here?
If you need help, just let me know. I will.
Go on. Let's go ahead.
Okay.
That's not what I want it to be like, but that's okay. In fact, what am I putting? I'm the owner of this tonight show. Why would he want to go ahead?
Well, thank you very much for the show. We're here tonight, and we will listen to you. Like I said before, and I continue to say that we are the counterweight. We're not going to rush you. We will let you to talk, but just make sure you give us the opportunity without throwing jabs here and there. Let us explain ourselves and let us give you the liberal view, because you are not in charge of the narrative of the Republic of Liberia. We are also here to talk about our Liberia. We're no longer depending on BBC to talk for us. We're no longer depending on CNN to talk for us. We are here to talk for ourselves and talk about some of the goodness, the good things that is happening under President Wakai. I am not a member of Unity Party. Unity Party, as far as I'm concerned, they continue to put their foot in their mouth, and I'm not part of them because I do not.
Joyce, good evening. Now, see my.
I am the supporter of President Wakai, and President Wakai is doing a wonderful job, Mr. So.
What a big contradiction. Joyce, please stay with us. Thank you for always being here. He's not a supporter. He's not a If United Party is putting her foot in her mouth, does that mean Joseph Boyka is putting his foot in his throat as well? He's the head of United Party.
No.
So what sort of contradiction is that?
He is helping them to take their foot in their mouths, because that's what he does. He tries to guide the system, and those who are corrupt in the system are the one that putting their foot in their mouth. And President Baka is not a corrupt man.
Oh, boys. You'll get a long way to go. The man from Wyandotte. Okay, guys, good evening. Welcome. As usual, we have these conversations, and let's say this is all things considered.
I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I look on your platform. Can you make it wider so everybody would? I mean, I don't like the way I look on your platform.
You don't what?
I don't like the way I look like on your platform.
Yeah, you hold on one second, because by the time you came, everything went helter skelter. I don't know. Okay, let's see here. I'm not sure why it shouldn't even be this way.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I want. That's what I want. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So let's do it this way. Look, this is not a liberal show. Can you fix your device much better, Mr. Barco?
If this is not my show,
Okay. Is it better? I'm
open
using my phone.
open conversation with a liberal progressive. On
I'm not home, so I mean, I'm not using. I'm using my cell phone. So
Let me move this here. What's wrong with this guy here? Are you going out of your mind? Okay, I understand that you're not home, so that's okay. I'm gonna get a straw going.
Okay, if I turn it this way, no, okay. Okay, let me go worse. Okay.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. So let's go ahead. Yeah, so what's on your talking points? Oh my goodness, they coming here like somebody boss Boko Boy Hill. They coming, they here again. They here. Look, they coming. So coming
So
from
why are you intimidated? Why are you afraid?
I'm just
We are coming. We're coming with a storm. So why are you afraid?
hold on. You got to get a permission here. No intrusion, no interruption. If I call your attention to either cooperate or you have yourself to be blamed. Let me bring in the man from Waterloo. Look at you not change it to Waterloo. From
Rescue 2 will soon be joining you.
Okay, gentlemen, Mose, James, good evening. Good to have all of you guys here. Today is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, by the way.
Yeah, nice time. It's going to be, I guess, another fiery time where we can be able to pound the truth and speak so loudly on the things that matter most to the Liberian people. So Waterloo Waterloo is represented in the House fully.
Okay. So Moses here, in the interest of our country, I demand honest conversation here this evening. I do not want anyone put in spin. If you are unable to answer a specific question that we ask, you have the right to plead. Don't take me backwards. I'm looking at how Liberia should progress. Okay. Mose, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you very much. And it's nice to be back on with all our colleagues, the liberal, the assistant, my brother, Mr. Barker, and the journalist himself, Akwe. That Akwe,
yeah, that Lofa Kante.
Okay.
Only Lofa Kante can host that kind of person.
What kind of person? Akwe?
Yeah, only Lofa Kante. So when I host me.
Okay.
You have the man who abandoned his country for political purposes, and a grievous seeker, opportunist. He had denounced his own country publicly on this network. He's now house citizen of Lofa County. It's the liberal. I'm not going to take you because when I go to Lofa, y'all will not give me no sleeping place.
No, you can't do that. You our Dodi. We gotta get you sleeping place. You know what the Dodi is supposed to do?
The man from Sano County, how you be you Dodi?
Well, Sano and Engineer are the same people.
Yeah, more crappy.
But you know what? The Frontier Force has had a very good relationship with the people from Sano and Sastan.
Okay. All right. Guys, let's have a conversation. This is All Things Considered. Quickly, your main talking point, and then we'll jump right into the issue to have conversations. I'm away. We know what is hanging. And that is why I have this Supreme Court building behind me here to this evening, because all eyes, the country is focusing. We're going to be coming is the president interfering, colluding with the results coming from the Supreme Court. I have no idea, but we can give a fair, balanced, and proportional conversation. Victor Morgan, good evening. Welcome, Sister Rita. Good to have you here this evening. Josephine Campbell, good to have you. Good evening. Who wants to go first? Liberal, you, all of you are the same people, so I really don't care who go first, who goes second. All of you are in the same bed, welcome in the praise, hallelujah, singing choir from Lofa County, and that is okay.
Well, since you got a temper of justice, let me start first.
Okay, hold on. The real show is about to start. The one who represents the cross sections of the Liberian people, the one who speaks and people go at peace, the one who speaks to the core values of Liberians, the one who speaks with boldness, the one who represents the independent minds, and that's the co-host of the Lee angle of this network. Guys, if you want to stand, I want you to please rise and let's welcome Dr. Marley Octavius Jones.
Oh my.
Of the most informative news magazine, All Things Considered. Dr. Marley is in the house. You know what? I can't have these two people here. These people, they are not friends to me. So you got to decide. The liberal, you go down, Marley come up, or Jerry Bacon, you come down to James and Akwe, you talk your Waterloo thing, and Dr. Marley goes down. Who is ready to be sacrificed, to be used as a sacrificial lamb?
I will take it, no problem.
Okay, you will take it. So you let
Put me on your left. That's put me on your left. That's fine.
power. You scratch your jaw.
No, you see, that's what we call compromise. You go across the aisle. You go across the aisle. We're not using iron hand. We're not using iron hand.
He right on you now, so I can do your texting and all of that to answer questions and stuff like that. Dr. Marley, good to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Libra. Thank you for fortifying the alliance.
It may just misspoke. He said Libra. You see, that's the core thing. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Marley. Thank you for acknowledging.
He's doing everything to seek attention. I'm not playing him, man. I don't even hear what you're talking. Go ahead, Dr. Marley.
I hope you're not falling into a boo-boo trap.
Okay, guys, let's go quickly here. We're going to be fair. First come, first serve. It was Jerry Bacon here. Mr. Bacon, let's go into your political playbook. This is All Things Considered. What is your priority at this evening?
I like your back view. For the matter of fact, the Temple of Justice, where we go to see legal litigation to be settled disputes between individuals and the nation. And the interesting part tonight is 4 rumors from your end that the President, Excellency, Mr. Boakai, is interfering with the decision making of the verdict that are pending before the Supreme Court. And I will rebuke you on the show tonight to say that Mr. Boakai is part of the conspiracy theory that you're developing. But here's the thing I want to say to our listening audience. From the legal perspective, anytime before the verdict can come, all litigating parties will be informed. The defendant and the plaintiff involved with the law will be informed.
You are carrying on. I just want you to give your headline of your main talking point.
What I want to say, I'm coming to it. Yeah, laying the foundation.
It can be temporary.
If the president is listening, I'm coming to it. I'm taking a few minutes. I'm just laying the foundation. You can just go and do your closing argument before the court, seeing the Temple of Justice behind you. But there's no need for the Liberian Court of the Senate. Mr. Boakai is not involved in any litigation with the Association and the Justice. So, in fact, you start sweating already. I'm not even there. You start sweating already, so that's one of the best things.
I have one Mikla will make it here tonight. Go ahead. Let's say you don't.
So Mr. Boakai is no involved. The only thing the court can do is the voter notification. in keeping with our law. All parties involved, if the body were to come, all parties will be notified and say by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we assemble, all parties involved will come. Now with the interference of the president. Even the president will be involved because of Supreme Court.
Mr. Bako, I got
it's a landmark case. It's a landmark case.
All right, I just need a short headline. Oh, boy, that's it. Okay, let's see. The Liberal was the next person. Liberal, let's hear you. What's your talking? What's your bullet point here this evening?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. So. I hope that we will have a wonderful show that everyone will enjoy and understand each other and not talk across the aisle and what have you. Wait for your turn. And the rules comes when they call your attention, you listen and you accept, and we move on. Let's have a wonderful show tonight, because I think the conversation about our country, they are very interesting nowadays. And so, as we do our best as member of this parliament group here on LPR, as we do our best to have a conversation, we are very serious about them, because we're not going to take upon our own basic time to come out here to waste our time. So whatever we discuss, and we're not claiming rightfulness and what have you, these are our own opinions. We're entitled to it. But at the same time, in expressing those opinions, I believe we must be responsible in discharging those opinions publicly. And also do it with respect. Let's treat each other with respect. Thank you very much, Mr. So.
Okay, we're not going to keep it boy here. Let me get inside this video and I'll come back to the rest of the folks.
Why? Look, it's good to have Todd back. I know Todd very well. He started this movement with me back in 2015, 2014. So it's good to have him back. You know, he's like a prodigal son, left and came back. He's bringing new energy to the party, which I think is good for the party. And encourage other parties to come back with energy, new parties to join up with energy, so we can offer Liberians a real choice.
The ANC just endorsed Malaiye Gongowule. What prompted this decision for the ANC and you, Mr. Kumis?
So the ANC looked at the candidates.
Okay, too much is all going on. Mr. Collins, I'm not seeing your image. Is that the resurrections of ANC Benedict Kumis as the result of Ida Gonglo words surfacing in Nima County? Let's go to our man. James Akwe is here from Waterloo, Iowa. Mr. Akwe, let's hear you. What's in your plate this evening?
Okay, so if anyone truly understands and separation of powers and coordination of the three branches of the government, and trust me, that person has to be President Joseph Human Boakai with years of experience to his belt. So yesterday, was just a false alarm, and news of interfering in legal matters. At least we all now know that it was just false and misleading, and people just wanted to blow their own trumpet, and they have their own reasons why they did that. But at least, we already knew, some of us already knew that this was false, and that today we can stand out and beat our chest and say, hey, this was just another full-faced lie. This was just another big lie told by the usual individuals who continue to live and die in falsehood. And again, I guess they may have been a team at the end of the day, but probably, the guys, don't know that thing when it comes to someone being machine and the rest of it. Because they had thousands, if you made Liberians yesterday, thinking other way. But some of us to the ground, knowing the character of President Boakai, and we stood there, at least we were able to tell Liberians out there. These are the usual liars. These are the same people, definitely. They are afraid of what they are beginning to see when it comes to development. And like I said yesterday, they will worry more because bigger things will come, and all that they're looking at 2029, Liberians definitely will make that choice. Liberians will make that decision as to who heads the country again. And usually, I mean, it goes to someone who the people trust, someone who the people trust. When people go to,
I gotta go. When we come to the details, we'll go in. I think we have to get things done differently here. We'll say 1 minute, 1 minute. We'll say half second, half second.
So I think I have to get my timer with me. let me get my
timer. Not necessarily you, or rather we're called analyst attention, even when we're speaking, we're trying to do it differently here. I mean, we've been doing good, but every now and then we'll improve. Let me go to Delaware in the land of Joe Biden. Moses Sewe is a security analyst of the Liberia Public Radio. That his core bet about in everyday security. Let's hear you, Moses. What's on your plate?
Well, good evening. I think the conversation yesterday was unique. The two days ago with the Liberal was very informative. And I think that some of our positions, and I understand people saying people liar and calling names. I think that our assertion in this conversation was only related to what was reported in the news. And we were very specific to say, if that is true, then X, Y, and Z. So we all are waiting to see. So there's no one who's is a liar and then publicizing anything. Yeah, we want to see if that is true. Sometimes these things deter people to do. So we'll wait and see also. But it's always good to discuss to have a discourse on these issues, because these are issues that are concerning the Republic of Liberia, and the separation of the setup of the government, the three branches of government. We've had numerous discussions here, and we've unequivocally, we've stated that they're separate and equal. So one cannot interfere with the other, and we've said that over again and again on previous shows. So we've beaten the horse back at the river and trying to get the water, the horse to drink water. But the thing about it, if what was reported yesterday, there's any truth to it, then you can classify that as total interference from one branch to the other.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to neighboring Pawtucket right here in my own state. The co-host, one of the independent of this network, and represent the broader spectrums of our political landscape. Dr. Jones Otavio Malacinians is part of this conversation. Good evening, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, host. I think we are on track. Even though it seems to be there's a bad blood try to get across, but we'll try to neutralize those things. And I strongly want to believe, I read a newspaper, and there is a reasonable speculation that the executive branch is trying to interfere with these results. And I'm talking from the position of what I read in the paper. And apart from what I read in the paper, I also want to agree that indeed the executive want to interfere with the results, with the Supreme Court results. And that is based on three factors, which we'll go into later.
We'll go into later. Let's welcome the only reverend that is politically minded on this network from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Terry Collins. Mr. Collins, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Sewell, to the panel, to everybody, Liberal, and to everybody on the panel. Good evening.
Is it that all of you guys sort of people are guilty of what is happening? You're waving and all of that, talking, no zeal in your voice. Are you guys running out of conversation? Is that the case? That's not a Terry that I know. When Terry comes on, the momentum, the zeal in, everybody seems to be downhearted, kind of like frustrated, and just can't get and believe what is happening. Let me give you the opportunity again to see whether you can put life in yourself. Tara Collins, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Again, and we are all enlightened. I'm not frustrated. But the government will guide, if the government in power, I will be frustrated. There is nothing there is nothing that happened that cannot be undone, and there is nothing that is undone that cannot be done. So we are not deterred by all the tabata and gossip going on. The Uber is working.
The old man is working. I don't know who is the old man, but that's great. Okay, gentlemen, good to have you. We're going to have this conversation. Like we said, beautiful conversation, no intrusion. Let's do it for the good of our audience, our followers, so that they will get a sense of what we're saying, what we talk about, so that they will be able to make a meaningful contributions. If you're talking, if the host call your attention, let's operate, let's move within that direction. So we're going to come to the biggest one here, but also all eyes on Nima County now with very consequential raise. The vice president has inserted himself into this process. Would that elevate the vice president political will that will push him probably for 2029? We have no idea, but he has made a crystal clear endorsing either Gongro way. Literally, fourth time going into this. What does this hold for her political career? Candidates of other sister network in Liberia, this interview was conducted. Let me just play excerpts and then we're going to have a conversation.
Thank you for taking the time to come here. My name is Edith Kongwe, the lone female senatorial candidate in this 2025 by-election that is slated for April 22nd, 2025. That's pretty much about two and a half weeks. I'm glad to have you guys here.
So it is alleged that on yesterday you were attacked, your team was attacked in a town called Barkley. We can talk about that.
So before we go to that, because for me that is a distraction, I want to talk about why we continue to contest in this county. For nearly 14 years, I've contested in 3 consecutive elections, this making it the 4th. The reason I continue to contest is because I have a vision for this county. And visions, as you may know, can only be well implemented by the visionaries. Nobody can implement fully what your vision is or what your visions are. And so I see there is a gap.
Okay, there is a gap. Let's see here. That's just essence. Let me get this fixed here. What are the Liberal doing thing here? Okay, there is a gap. Folks, let's have a conversation. Nimba is very consequential in the political landscape of Liberia. She gives herself great identity, the only lone female. And concerning this number, remember, she's the former superintendent. The race were pretty tight with the late Senator Prince Johnson the last time around. But from all indication, GOL heavyweight, Samuel Koga seems to be the guy, the favorite of the GOL backing. Alexander Cummings, the ANC guy that went into coma, is back with One Way coming in here. Let's do a quick conversation here. How important this race in Nima County and for the political career of Edith Gonglo well? Let me start with the Liberal to Progressive. The Liberal.
Thank you, Mr. So I think it's a very interesting dynamic that is happening over there in Nima County. For me, I hope that the Nima people, they're very smart. I know that for a fact. But I hope they will try to select or elect someone who will seek the interest, not just of Nima, but for the entire country. Now, from my own perspective, I will say here this evening, from my side of things, that this whole the vice president and the certain group in Nima, the Gil, the people are telling them now Gil, Mana, and what have you, they have to be very careful. Because even if the Gil, who I believe do have a majority of their citizens in Nima County, even if they win, you can win a position on an election and still suffer the consequence. I say that. And here's what I'm going to say on this. If you now have Taiwan where his group are now turning toward coca, so
No, Taff will eat it.
I said turning towards coca. I believe, I think I read something where Taiwan group now are endorsing coca. I could be wrong. But if this case, okay, if this is truly the case, then you have an issue that's going to be affecting the 2029 general election. Because if you're going to win, you must bring the entire Nima citizenry on board with you. Speaking in terms of coca. Now, coca from day one, I predicted from the time Senator Johnson died, I was the first year on this platform to say that Coker has to, because the role he played and the position he was taking at the time. I believe if he had stuck with that position, which was a unifying position, I believe he would have done himself a great deal. But when he went on to talk about women and society, that a woman cannot, when the devil comes outside, woman got women, and now this is now your 1934. You cannot, because of your society devil, you want women then to come run away? Is that what you want? When he made that statement, I thought now things were going to turn against him a little bit. And if you've been reading lately, the women of Nima County, my information is that they have endorsed Madam Idewere Gongro to Idewere Gongro to now be the senator. It's going to be an uphill battle. But Mr. So, they have to be very careful that if they are not careful with this election, they might have some split Nima come 2029.
Okay, so
a lot of folks might take the opportunity and use that against them as well.
Okay, Mr. Goya, good to have you. Good evening. Welcome, folks. Let's keep it succinct. I saw that it's a crowded house this evening, so that everyone can make their own contribution as well. We're not going to roller skate here this evening. Okay, since Sister just came in, I will let him settle to see what his talking point. But let me go to James Akwe in Waterloo, Iowa. James, we saw the resurfacing. We saw Alexander Benedict Cummings surface. I'm not sure what is the presence of Edith Gongro where, or is he a perfect venue to see him being resurrected? Is he coming back fully? What will potentially happen after this? Will he go back to bed again? What is what? Vice President is into it. Who is really keeping their eyes, and who could be politically hurt if they are not mindful into this race yet? You as a journalist, what are you hearing from Nima and what you think going to happen? You got to unmute yourself. James.
Mr. So,
Okay.
point of information, please, if you don't mind. I think tonight is a wonderful program. And as someone, the board member, chairman, by the way, I would like to excuse myself so that the brothers that are on here will have enough time to be able to expand on whatever conversation that you're going to be having with them tonight. So I
don't, if you want to, if you can't stand the heat in the kitchen, just go. Don't distract our.
I'm not distracted. I'm just saying to you that
okay.
I'm going to excuse myself. But before that, let me just say, Sister Orita, good evening, welcome here on LPR. Let me just excuse myself so that the time that I will use, other brothers here will utilize the time.
People that you're running from CSA?
Thank you very much, and good night to all of you.
You running away to Moy, the country, Tabata. Good, Ali, we have a peaceful conversation. Okay, let me talk to James. James, are you there? What is the significance of this election in Nima County, and for whom really is should be the focus point?
So Nima is very crucial. I mean, when looking at the population, this is the county with the second highest population just after Mosolota County. So when Nima pushes you politically, trust me, when Nima sells you I mean, you are sold. So, I mean, everyone wants at least a piece of the pie. I mean, you don't sit there and allow Nima vote, to just go. So, I mean, it's a tactical fight for survival, a tactical fight for space, and the rest of it. But for me, I'm not just, I don't think the people of Nima County will just support a particular candidate like on the basis of, I mean, sex, because I heard saying, that she's the lone female candidate. I think the people of Nima County will be looking at, I mean, the vision, I mean, the plan, I mean, what is it, the blueprint of these candidates? I mean, will these candidates bringing forth, to offer to them, I mean, that's a very huge population there. So, I mean, the candidates will be bringing forth their own platform, their own blueprint, and in the end, the people there will definitely, decide. But don't forget that, and people there will also be voting on tribal lines, Mana and Gil. You can't rule that out. Then also looking at the fighter 2029 is just another thing. Everybody looking for some form of glory. Hey, today we see that the CDC has not endorsed anybody, and she's saying that I mean, just supporting all opposition political parties. I mean, she would tend to stand there to gain glory and dance, and to the wins and capitals of any opposition, definitely who's going to win. But then, see Samuel Koga, on the other end, the MDR party candidate, the party of Senator Johnson. And I know he stand a very great chance there. Trust me, he stand a very great chance. And being also heavily supported by Vice President, who knows? The people of Nima may be making a choice when it comes to Samuel Koga at the end of the day.
All right, guys, let's keep it brief as possible, as we can. The house is crowded. Let me go to Delaware. The nephew of Joe Biden is here. I'm not sure whether he's getting a clear cut what is happening in Nima. Mose, let me just bring you in here. How significant is this election and what it means for Edith Gonglowe as a politician, former superintendent of the county? You listen to her. Literally, this is, I think, fourth time. What could possibly happen if it turned out to be something different? What is your thought?
My own take on this is this. Edith Gonglowe, I got to know her during the Gonglo campaign. I had no clue who she was until I affiliated with Tawan Gonglo. And then I got to understand some of the information, some of the past history of her participation in electoral policy positions and appointed positions. And I can tell you, I'm not okra with what's going on in Niba, but we hope that this election in Niba, this election will set the platform for 2029. Looking at the processes, looking at who's running, the qualified candidates, because if someone ran for positions 4 different times and they're in the position she's in, I think that people need to think twice why she didn't at that time. But in Liberia, the history is that of election is that, the president they start at that time. They're not looking at the qualification and what the person brings to the table. She did not articulate. I didn't think she had a chance to articulate on her vision and why she's been running all these years. But this is a wait and see process. I hope that this election would not bring any hostility or any process that's going to be detrimental to the 2029 election. So, background and watching.
Okay, we're making progress. I'm going to reserve 2 gentlemen here, Frank of Gonglo, a other guy from the backyard of Nimba itself. Maybe he's getting more information than we do. Terry, let me just bring you in here. It's all about political strength so far, in my own thinking, with the vice president being deeply involved. The Gongos are grounded in politics, branding, and in Nima County, she was very calculative. I am the only try to signal herself out, which of course, that's the nature of the game as the female candidate. What sort of language do you think she was putting out there? Political empathy, sympathy. I am your own daughter. I have been going over this thing over and over. You guys asked me to come and contest. You voted for me the last time around. This time, do not leave me by the wayside. Was she being calculative, appealing to the Nimayans to give her a chance?
Well, yeah, she's a politician. I think she's speaking to the category of people she want to vote for her. But I don't think she come spirited. I don't see the strength. I don't see her strength, spiritual motivation, that spirit. I don't see her coming to the discourse, to the political discourse with that spirited or motivation. I think she appeared weak. She could win. It's possible she could win, but to me, she appeared weak. She have the women vote. I don't know if the women gonna give it to her, but I'm not a familiar guy with the Nimbayan politics. But I think that the politics that is playing in Nima is highly traditional. Yeah, I think the person who have more traditional weight will win it, in my opinion.
Okay, Dr. Jones. So say is a good guy. He knows the Gonglos. He once supported Councilor Gonglo. Perhaps they are getting some information with them, so I'm going to reserve him. And the man back on from the backyard of Nima, perhaps he making some phone calls here. But Dr. Mali, I will try to reconstruct these conversations in a different form, different shape. Now, the vice president is deeply involved. Is it like he's putting his political strength to be, he's the highest politician of the land by virtue of his position, but is he kind of running ahead of his shadow, or is he doing the right thing? Life itself is a risk, so politicians are bound to take risks as well. But is he making himself vulnerable here for potential 2023, just in case the guy he endorsed publicly cannot win and without diminish his political strength?
Well, I think the vice president have got all reason to be afraid of what is going on right now, because this election, I don't know Elite Gongoro personally. I've been reading a lot about her, but I think it will be a referendum on Joseph Boakai second term if he chooses to run. And I would be glad if she wins this race for the balance of power in the Senate. But my fear here now is that the endorsement from Cummins, who traditionally and culturally is being stigmatized based on the result of the last election, I hope this will not help to undermine her ability to get a senatorial seat. Because Cummings, I stand to be wrong, but he being perceived as those coming from the Congo, the former Congo dynasty, and he has come to contest, and it was one of the factors that affected his success during this last election, and so many other factors. So I don't know whether they have been able to remediate some of these problems. So endorsing this lady, my fear here is that I hope they won't politicize it and say, oh, this Congo man has endorsed this woman. It seems to be she's one of the Congo sympathizer and try to come back in another form to take the country over. and try to put her own traditional people against her. That's my only worry. But other than that, it's a strong referendum on Joseph Boakai's administration for 2029. If she wins, I mean, the vice president should be in a very big problem.
Big problem. We are about to narrow it down to people who better knows these folks, who work with some of them directly, indirectly. Let me bring in Sissy Warrior. Sissy, you listen to your colleagues, everybody have their versions, they have their own interpretations. Let's put this in a political box and square it out here. Who is putting his or herself at risk politically? You saw your man comments. When I talked to comment, we saw him coming back. I'm happy Todd is back. And by the way, Todd endorsed Ida Gonglo where most of our country, most controversial lawmaker, Yeke Koluba, also did. And potentially he will be going there to campaign. Everybody get their own follower. Now, Chakadakia, what is actually playing out in Nima County? Who should be watching for what?
So, good evening, fellow panelists. Like Yeka Koluba would say, ball bounce, rule change. And that's the fear. Look, full disclosure, I supported the Unity Party government in the runoff. Matter of fact, I would have supported even their bodies over CDC in the runoff. So that's a fact. However, I am not just a supporter of Edith Gonglo. I'm on her campaign team. I'm actually part of her media team. So that's a full disclosure. When my brother Moses tried to play around and then later on can say, but I don't know about politics. I know about her until they were running. I mean, you're not following the politics. This woman was superintendent in Niba County before they were running. She ran for Senate before they were running. As a matter of fact, the most recent election, 2020, between her and now Vice President Kun, with the now deceased godfather of Niba County, campaigning, Jeremiah Kun had 36.12% of the vote. Edith had 32.55%, with Prince Johnson living and raising the hand of Jeremiah Kun. So he won the seat by 3,000 votes. So there were more invalid votes than the amount that they won the seat by. So you want to tell me that the woman is not strong. She doesn't feel like she's strong, I tell it. But yet she could give Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Kun together, a tag team together. And they couldn't beat her by more than 4 percentage points. That's not me saying no, that neck data. So spare me the fear tactics. I think the United Party supporters are afraid, and I'll answer your question. Because the United Party has managed to put forth a good that they cannot sell. So people are talking about Edith Gonglo where cannot articulate her policy. She is giving more access to the press and briefing and spoken longer and more about issues than Koga. What Koga been doing? Dancing. Jumping what day by day. So if you are asking somebody that they haven't spoken on an issue, but you're taking the day by day jumper. So the only thing they make you do that the jumper day by day, that only articulation. But because she's a woman, she's held to a different standard. And let me address the issue on why she said that she is the only woman in the race. If you go back and follow, we were very, very clear from the beginning of this campaign that we're not going to use the gender card. But when Jeremiah, the jumper, Samuel Koga, decided that he will wear his Timu suit to go bury Prince Johnson, and he will speak about women taking the back seat, as if to say we are back in 1920s. That is a sad event. And that was why she wanted to point out that that statement was against me because I'm the lone woman in the race. So when Koga said that in tradition in Niba County, when a man's soul dies, he gets replaced by a man. When a woman's soul dies, she gets replaced by a woman. So he should replace Prince Johnson. We agree. In the soul bush, he should be the soul. But not as a senator, because you can replace Prince Johnson as the soul. not as a senator. So look, we can discuss the issues. You are saying somebody has run over and over, and that should be some kind of a bad thing. I think it's a positive. I think for somebody to continuously tell the people, I'm here, I'm able to help, and the people say, go sit down. It's okay, fine. When I hear, I stay here, that means the person is telling you that they are selfless. They are here to help. They're not going to run away. You beat them one time, they will come back. So look, let's discuss the issue. Let's forget about the gender issue because Edith did not bring in gender stuff yet. It was Jeremiah, the jumper, Koga, that brought us this thing. And by the way, that bastard mean there or that for Nima Kande mean with Koga. We discuss that.
Oh, goodness. This is unbelievable. I'm coming, Moses. You're gonna have your day. You're gonna have your day. All of you're Gonglo people, so I really don't want to be part of that stuff here. Water dry fish, iffy. Let me go to Nima County, B and Doro. Jerry Barkham. These guys, this man from Lofa, he already got a presidency. The other man there from Lofa. Terry I don't know which county from.
County.
No, the man from Maryland. Wait, you from Lofa? You Lofa man too, Moses?
Oh yeah.
Huh? You Lofa too?
Who?
You?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, Lofa County.
This
My name is.
I'm for deep is not Lofa County.
My name is Thomas. They are coming.
So this network is infested with Lofians. I see why the Liberal abandoned his country. Complete greatest speaker. You play the president and that way he moved. He 1 year but granted.
I'm from.
Okay, let me bring in Mr. Barker. Mr. Barker.
Yes, sir.
This is all about your country. There is something at stake. Your old man, the Karens, now let me say the jumper. The day by day jump, the man jump over day by day. I don't know that different track and something you would be running for Nima Soccer Squad or whatever. Look, what are you hearing from your motherland, from your county with respect to this politics of Nima? Nima is everybody try to get the hold. People try to gain political supremacy. The big elephant in the room is no longer there. So all the kicker door, everybody just say, I want to be this. They want to take out that government. They want to take out that mentor to be the deal maker. What are you hearing? What Nimayans are really saying? Are they taking a look at either Gunglo or Samuel Koga and just realize? And that's quite true. Maybe he has been doing it. I've not been seeing much of him in the media. I was told about maybe he's just complacent. You know what? I get the woman behind me. I get a VP. So it's a done deal. I am from the majority group of the Nima and the group, the GIO. So maybe it's like this guy, tribal politics. We cannot divorce that. Is that a case? What are you hearing?
But here's the thing. Let me put it to historical perspective. Nima has always been divided. We got lower Nima, we got upper Nima. During Vocal time, and all these people, there was two senators, one from lower upper Nima and lower Nima country. That's the fact. The issue right now is there are two potential individuals in Nima country who are doing the power struggle. The power struggle there is between Mr. Musa Belede and the sitting power president. These are the two potential leaders who are fighting to see because there are two political parties in Nima country right now. That's one of the things we have to look at. Who's going to emerge as a leader in Nima country? The third thing I want to consider, all the candidates that are in the race right now, they are all former, except for Koga, who is a sitting representative right now. These are all former official government who are serving their country. So then we come to Kwame, who endorsed the former superintendent Maraide, and what is the weight of him during the general election? Look at his statistics. He came about 5% in the general election, so we have to take that into consideration. All the former, I think we got former representative Mr. Tingman, who also run it. We got a former Inspector General of Nima County. We got a former Superintendent of Nima County. So these people have records. So the Nimarians have to make a decision who have the record, and we'll look at the record and we'll grade them at the ballot boxes. Because everybody who in that place, all of them are former officials of government of Nima County. Here is the conclusion I want to say. When Nima sneezes, the Liberia people listen. So the whole country is focusing on Nima County. Who going to emerge as a leader for Nima County between Musa Belede and the sitting vice president? So these, I think, the Nima will be looking at. But let me go further. Hold on. 1 second, please. Let's look at Madam Ile Conclu, so she is a focal point in the discussion. Every election that she has participated in, they always end in litigation. When she and Tom Gruby went, she went to court and she lost in the court. When she and the city vice president went, she went to court and she lost. So these are the issues in the place. Then let's come to the sex issue. She's the only female. So don't play the victim. You are there as a female, I understand, because of Mr. The sitting representative make a remark, which was, I think, it was not a good remark for you to make and say, Roma do it. But you know what? That's what it is. He has said it, man. That in politics, you don't have to be on defense. Because when you on defense, drag you. So the representative have to defend what he said.
Okay, don't post spin on this because it's about your.
No, I'm not putting spin on it.
No, that different question I'm going to ask you.
What you do?
So, have you decided which way your support has gone for Nima?
No, I'm not supporting nobody in Israel.
So, for what?
Recent statement to myself. I'm not supporting nobody because all of them, their record is, I mean, for my personal opinion, no. Here, Gongo, when she was superintendent, let me speak for myself from the lower Nima County. When she was superintendent, she never even visited my district.
Okay.
Okay. She never visited my district when she was superintendent. The record is there. Tiban, who was a personal friend of mine, when he was representative, his record is there. The sitting representative, his record is there. So at that point, no, I'm a new.
But tell the record, how you not talk about either own? You said I'm not putting the record there. You put
no. That's what I'm saying. But listen, guess what I said when Chima was representative? Hold on, sir. When Chima was a representative for District 9, which I'm part of District 9, I supported him.
Okay.
I supported him. I have contributed to his campaign.
Let's make progress. I just wanted to know, as a son of Nima County, where you are going to be. But right now, you already finished. You declare yourself. Welcome, Victor Namwe. Moses wanted to say something. Moses,
let me see if I can get my charger. If my charger, my phone, I'm gonna go on.
Yes, please. Mr. Sisse, it was good that in your introduction, when you were asked to make your statement, you made the campaigning for Edith Congo. You are a supporter of her. Mine insert this conversation had nothing to do with supporting any candidate. I spoke objectively, and for you to tell me, sitting down, and I'm trying to attack her, I think it was unfair because I don't know her. The only time I got to know her when I met Tewan Gonglo. I've never followed the politics in Nima County. When I got to know, got on board to support Tewan, that when I found her, and she and I spoke. I met with her a few times.
Every time I'm here, you're going to be talking. They already did.
If you want to campaign for her, it's okay to campaign for her, but it's not on my word. I'm not saying anything So I pray for him.
Moses, don't be disingenuous. You
No,
want
no,
to
I'm
be,
not.
you want to
I'm
actually
hold on.
work.
I'm not gonna hold on, guys.
telling
There's
you
too much of-
that
come in,
no,
Moses. Hold on 1 second. There's I think somebody too talking. I'm getting some background noise too. Let us to do it. Moses, make your point quickly so we can
I'm
move
not
to our.
anyway, brother. I only got to know her during the Gongo campaign, and I went to her times to meet her when he was here. I do not know her political history. I did not know her political history, and I'm telling you the truth. So I'm not being disingenuous.
Okay, I'm not going to go to still waiting for the
It's
other
good for you to
case
get
at Supreme Court. All right. Okay.
So do I got 10 seconds?
Yeah. I hope I don't want us to have back and forth.
No, it's not.
Exactly.
Because Moses is being disingenuous. The point
What
here
are you talking about?
Moses, you were
Hold
speaking.
on,
I give
hold
you a
on.
chance, my brother. Give me a chance. Let me speak.
So why not pick the issue when their time comes?
The point here I'm making is you say you don't know about this lady, but you continue to talk about her lacking the policy. And that's why I told you that you don't make those. But Moses, when you're speaking, I give you a chance.
No, but
Moses, when you were speaking, I give you a chance. You're speaking, I give you a chance. And so the point I made is factual. I said the woman was a superintendent of Nimba County. So to say you don't know of her, that means you have not followed Nimba politics. And that is a fact. If you haven't heard of a former superintendent, you have not followed the politics of that county. That's just a fact. Why are you in your feelings about that?
No, I think that's what Moses said. Okay, well, let's make progress.
Let me get, I mean, Mr. So can I squeeze in? Yeah, just 30 seconds.
No, hold on 1 second. We gotta go ahead.
I don't know what.
Victor, now we just coming in. Let's get to the next point, or some of you, your points are agree. Mr. Nangwe, good evening, welcome.
Hey, Theo, it is good to be here, and good evening, gentlemen. Unfortunately, there's no lady on set, but it is good to be here. Good evening to the audience as well.
Okay, let me just throw you into the pool while we are. I'm having a background noise. Something is.
It's from Mr. Nambe.
Oh, no, I'm not sure whether let me just move Jerry here since he's not on. Okay, Mr. Nambe, quickly here, if you will. We're just talking about the politics of NEMA, what people should be watching for. If this is a fourth time going into this, the vice president made an announcement. So politically, who is at risk here? What are you looking to see happening in NEMA? Are you monitoring what is happening in NEMA?
Yeah, I actually am.
You're Ellis Kumin guy, right?
I supported the CPP. Yes, I was the national campaign advisor. But as you know, the CPP does not exist anymore, and so but I'm not an ANC member. However, yeah, I'm following Nimba. My wife is from Nimba. I know Edith very well. I know the family. I think she's about the only candidate in the race who I know very well. As to who is at risk here, I think the vice president has a lot riding on this cycle of elections. He is really, I think, he's in a bind. He is supporting Koga, who is also competing against him for, the opinion leader of Nimba County. So it's a lose-lose for him, really. If Koga were to win, he loses because that reinforces Koga. If Koga loses, then there will be questions raised about his ability to rally the vote because he has exposed his hand. He has come out calling on people, not to split the vote and, all of this to vote for Koga. So I think he stands to lose, I think, the biggest. Edith has also, I think this is her third or fourth time. So now credibility questions are beginning to arise. Yes, I know most of the time she places either second or, very close, but she has never really won. Is it really a question of strategy? Is it a question of rejection? I don't know exactly. But I was coming on, someone mentioned, I think it was Jerry who was mentioning Musa. I think Musa should not be written off. I think the young fellow, Mike Blenwell, Musa continues to say they will shock the world. I think they're working really hard in building a ground game. if Koga and Edith were to neutralize each other, I think he emerges as the black sheep. And so, but before I pass it on, one thing I want to say is this: Alice Cummings coming to endorse and all of that. I believe all of the major parties right now, they see what is happening in NIMBA as an opportunity to plant the markers in NIMBA. Right now, the departure of the senator, I think everybody's trying to see, who is going to hold sway over NIMBA. And so everybody is trying to identify their own opinion leaders, and everyone is looking down the road to 2029. And so even if Alice, if Edith didn't win, Alice can come in tomorrow and cash in on his support right now for Edith. I believe if she doesn't win, she's still going to be a very powerful person in NIMBA. If she were to win, that even I think reinforces Mr. Cummings' position. So I think the endorsement really is a long play for Mr. Cummings, and I think it will probably bear fruit for him down the road.
Bear fruit down the road. Okay, if that fruit bear fruit and they giving it to people, I'll be my own basket, so I'll post on that. Okay, guys, let's make progress. I believe most of you selected your topic, the Reverend.
I just wanted to chime in a little bit on the Edith Gonglo Ware stuff, because the challenge here, I think, is based on the now. I hear my senior brother sister talking about the data. The data show clearly that Edith could be ahead, but also looking at the friction, the change, the dynamics, and the political standing from some of the things I'm reading. Most of Edith supporters are complaining that she have a way that once she leaves the scene, she runs to America and she abandoned the people. So, and most of which are women, they've been complaining on Edith's behavior. Number one. Number two, Edith have not been able to win when Prince Johnson were alive. Like for Jeremiah Kuhn came from nowhere and won Edith Gonglo Ware in the election. Was it Jeremiah Kuhn or one of them?
No, representative before you won, so he didn't come from nowhere.
Yeah, but he was representative, just like Koga today. Koga is representative. And now Koga has moved to MDR, and Koga is fortunate because the wife of the late senator is supporting him. He's the only candidate in the race that is aligned with the late Prince Johnson political party. So in my opinion right now, and looking at the polls coming from Nima County, it's reading that Koga is ahead. I know Gongo, she got her stats, but the opinion pool, the overall opinion pool is pulling in direction of Koga. I just wanted to make that point.
Okay, guys, let me
30 seconds. I mean,
no,
just 30 seconds.
Different thing you want to use that, we can do it. We're not going to be on.
Yeah, I just want you to share the pool so I can look at it in my background.
That is Reverend Pool. Okay, the biggest conversation of all here, and I know it's been sort of repetitive. We've been talking over and over. Is this much awaited announcement or whatever from the Supreme Court? Where front page is still reporting the executive interfering is a question mark, so we're going to go to the detail here. But what is at stake here? So many information coming out with this whole thing. President asked for extensions, whether it is true. I'm not sure whether GOL has spoken to that effect. All of that is confirmed. So, Dr. Mali.
Yeah.
Let me just bring you in here. If there's an official statement for government to denounce or distribute what is front page is reporting, I haven't read that. I haven't seen any press release. Now, the president most likely they are asking, or maybe he wants to intervene. Is that an ideal thing to do at this time here? People probably say it will be much sooner than now. So, what could be if at all, if this Supreme Court comes back to say, okay, everything ignores the rule, that there was a constitutional violation, we're sending it back to a COFA, what could possibly happen? Will those convoys, those security details will be removed from left-hand speaker to the other guy again? What could possibly happen?
Well, I think the issue, the issue right now is a very, very delicate issue, is a volatile situation right now, because in the first place, when we retrospect, the Supreme Court already modeled this issue in the first place, and this issue is more political than judicial. But if let's just do the devil advocates, let's play the devil advocates role. Assuming the Supreme Court come back and say, "Oh, minority bloc, yes, what you did was right. The procedure was wrong. So a non-void, go back and start all over." I think that's going to create more problem in Liberia, because in the first place, this group had already started working constitutionally. They were able to pass the budget. The Senate already validated this group. The executive has been working with this group, and the Supreme Court did not attend the inauguration. I see that as a high-level hypocrisy on the part of the Supreme Court. And even the issue of the Chief Justice coming up to apologize, that was slapped in the face. That undermined judicial maturity in my own thinking. And so the speculation that the executive is hovering, probably try to influence maybe the outcome of this results, will not be extreme phenomenal, because from the beginning, the executive have been accused of working with this group, especially when they took their decision, and the president decided to even travel with this guy to Accra, Ghana, where he was able to meet with his counterpart. So there are so many practical traces on the ground to show that the president is working with this group. But the question now is, will this group abide by the decision of the Supreme Court? Because this is an equal branch of government, I don't think they are obliged to really accept the Supreme Court decision and move with it to have it implemented. The Supreme Court does not have army or police force to enforce a decision. It may be relying on the executive, and I doubt that the executive is going to muster all the courage to use the executive power to enforce Supreme Court decision. This has not happened before. In Liberia, I stand to be corrected.
Thank you so much. The man from Iowa, Waterloo.
Yeah,
this is sort of a dicey one here, and we all try to figure out. But I believe these three branches of government work simultaneously to want everyone rely on one. If people go to court, if they are guilty, at the end of the day, it is the executive that administer the executive power, providing people, sending people security, and all of that. Now, with this here, front page here reported, I look on the Facebook page. Usually, the presidential press secretary good at tweeting, sending message out to either reject or denounce or say this is not what is happening. Nothing official yet. I'm not sure why it is. If the president, if it is true for discussion purposes that the president is asking or requesting the delay of the Supreme Court decision, what does that tell you?
Yeah, so I mean, like in my opening statement, I made it very clear that if anyone truly understands and separation of powers and the coordination among the three branches of government, that person definitely has to be and President Joseph Ivan Boakai. I mean, it comes as a result of years of experience. We're talking about 40 years. So at least we all now know that yesterday statement was just some rumor and false alarm on the part of individuals who decided to come up with, what they came up with, and they have their own reasons why.
It's Akwe, not to interrupt. It's front pages on the front page. Are you referring to front page or what?
Yeah, and not only front page Africa, also Spoon came out with it. That the president is interfering. But I can say this. Normally, when the Supreme Court is about to invite people, it send out citations. will listen. Ombudsman. Today I was able to speak with at least 2 journalists. I usually have my some show and thing where I was able to talk to some journalists today. And what those journalists told me is that they were able to talk with Dara Ambrosman, who happens to be the public relation officer at the Supreme Court, and he made it very clear that there was no citation. Because there was no citation, it means party litigants were never invited. So in the first place, people said, that today was going to be some ruling or something was going to come from the Supreme Court. Where did that information really, originate from? So I mean, it was just part of the same rumor mongering again, part of the same lie. So, and today we did not see anything of such, and that definitely does not mean that Bwaka has any hand in this thing. When it comes to, twisting the arms of justices of Supreme Court, Bwaka is never going to do this. He understands, and when it comes to what coordinations among the 3 branches of government, and so like I said just yesterday, also on the issue of the Supreme Court. Just let me just squeeze this in finally. 10 seconds. The Supreme Court is not the Supreme Court has made it very clear that there is no law that compels majority lawmakers to sit on the Fonati Kofa. So in my view, the Supreme Court is not going to come up with another statement to say, hey, lawmakers, majority lawmakers, they already use the word antivirus. We agree with that. But they are not going to term or compare them or to force them to go and sit on a Fonati Kofa. That is not going to. I think Fonati Kofa is definitely out, and he's out for good.
Let's keep it strictly to the point. We have less than 20 minutes to go. Moses, let me just bring you in here. Should we make you the presiding officer finally for this case in Liberia, and we cut the case once and for all? Who will be speaker, who not speaker, they not speaker. What the heck is going on? So where are we as a people, as a nation? Who is to cut this ribbon? There's this ribbon that we've been here. Who's going to cut it?
Well, let me say to you what I've said continuously. We have 3 equal branches of government, and one is not to interfere with any other activities. It can coordinate on different issues, such as the State of the Union. They can come in and say you can do that. As far as I'm concerned, the Supreme Court cannot come up with any ruling in this matter, and I've said it over and over, because it's not a constitutional matter. It's for the rules of the legislator in electing their speaker. And I'm not sure what this is going, why this has been delayed for so long, but I suspect that the Supreme Court is not going to come up with any ruling for either side, number one. Number two is that the conversation is interesting because we've been waiting for the Supreme Court to come up with something, as Akwe said repeatedly, and these rumors have been going around for a long time, and nothing has come out yet. And so, for me, when it was published yesterday, and there were talk going around, and saying that the president asked them to intervene, to delay for an intervention from his part. He got the right to do intervention. He doesn't have the right. He doesn't have to ask the Supreme Court to stop the decision. Politically, this is a political issue. It's not a constitutional issue. So that is my take on it. And there's nothing you can do right now to say that either side is right and the other side is wrong. It has exacerbated to the point where it's totally out of control. And I think that people need to rise up and hold their legislative representatives accountable.
You said who people need to what? Who people? Who the people are talking? The masses?
Citizens, yes. The citizens, the constituents of those different districts needs to go to the people.
Calling for citizen arrest?
need to compel them to come together.
Okay.
Because we understand in democracy, when one branch is not fully seated, the entire government or the state of the union is affected by that.
Thank you so much.
All three branches need to be seated so that you can have a perfect union.
Okay, all right. It's this seems to be a divided house. Let's go to Jerusalem to get some spiritual guidance in this whole political thing, because the pastor himself has been so more political in this whole thing here. Terry, are you ready to take us on Mount Zion to tell us exactly what could happen potentially in this whole thing here? Or we just having this sort of killing ourselves and the politicians just gambling with us?
Listen, so I'm not going to go to Mount Zion to prophesy because there is no prophecy there before Sese can put me on. But what I want to say, Mr. So, is that in my opinion, the Supreme Court might rule in a way that will favor Honorable Funati Kofa. If the Supreme Court do rule and says that what the majority black did was illegal, and what Honorable Kofa did by compelling, his colleagues, trying to compel his colleagues were illegal, and tell the whole world that there is nothing called majority black in the Constitution, and that they meant that Honorable Kofa had the ability to bring his people there, but the law did not say how. It simply means that Honorable Kofa remains the speaker. But here is where I have the problem that I think will happen. If the Supreme Court says that they both acted illegal, it means that Honorable Kofa remains to be the speaker, but will the will the Senate concur? Because today I listened to Darius Dillon. Darius Dillon was not setting. Darius Dillon seems to blame the Supreme Court for bringing us to where we are. And the prayer of the Honorable Kofa or Una legal team, they are saying and mandating the court to demand that everything that have happened under the majority black was ultra virus, which means including the budget and everything that was passed was illegal. If the court, that is where I doubt that the court will rule in that regard. But I am certain that the court might rule in a way that will favor Honorable Kofa. But whether if the legislature, the Senate is going to agree with that ruling, thereby to nullify the agreement that they have with the lower house, that I doubt. And if that happens, the majority will still be in force.
No, the pastor is zigzag, moving zigzag. Go left, come right, relay catching, bulldoze through the relay.
I just giving my own. This is a prophecy. It's not like I'm predicting and I'm analyzing. So please.
So then what are you doing now? You the pastor in the house. You're supposed to give it, and the pastor doing like that, then what will okay, let's see. Jared back on.
They receive.
Yeah.
So this whole thing here, lawmakers, okay, I don't know Darius Dillon, I didn't listen to him, what he said specifically, but I believe the Senate somehow, when this whole thing came, they give recognition to the group called that calling itself majority. So for he to come, I'm not sure whether he disassociated himself with that position. We don't know, so I'm not going to be judgmental to that. But here it is thing here. Who is having nightmare in this whole thing here?
The Liberian people. Everybody's a victim. Why Liberian people are having? Because as it is right now, the country is torn apart because of the position of the legislator who are in the house. And for that reason, the country is at the edge. We don't even know whether if the border comes down tomorrow or the after tomorrow. whatever time it will be to do it necessary. But here's the interesting part from my outside of the show. Before the Supreme Court make her decision, she will invite both parties and give them notification, what I call notification, before they give the verdict. So they're not just going to do it abruptly and say, okay, we'll give them the door. They got to invite all both parties and say, this is what it is. And before the Supreme Court herself, all the 5 judges, they will to stimulate their anybody not just going to read their opinions. This is it. Everybody have to give a copy of their opinion about so their colleagues and look at it whether they're going to read it all this. So these are the procedures people do on the judges. That's one thing. The second thing we are taking into consideration here is the Supreme Court is the where we go for final decision making body. And whatever she comes down with, that's the rule of law, and we have to abide by it. You might not like it. Somebody have to win. That's the purpose of going to court. The purpose of going to court is because I slap you, and the judge will say, no, you're wrong, or this is the penalty you're going to pay. That's what we go to court for, to settle our dispute. So somebody have to win, whether it's a majority black or minority black, wherever the so-called blacks they have. Somebody have to win. And we have to take it into consideration as the Liberian people and as the people of the nation. We have to take that into consideration rather than say, oh, the Supreme Court. But here's my conclusion. I listened to Snow tonight. Tonight I listened to Snow. And he said something interesting. And he said he confessed. He said, look, I'm going to be biased, but there's no way that Mr. Burker had interfered into the opinion of the justice. You see why I said that? Because my wife is a member of the Supreme Court. I know who she is. So there's no way any information will leak because I know who she is. I know, even though she must have not together again. I listened to him, I listened to his interview. So, folks, as a Liberian or anybody in our country, let us just listen to what the Supreme Court have to say and we follow what the Supreme Court say. Comparing to say, oh, Burker influences. No.
So that the only one you grabbed. There were other things too that he talked that you didn't get.
Oh no, I mean that's what he spoke on the Supreme Court. That's an issue he spoke on the Supreme Court. But I mean there are other issues we talked about the how you call this the shipping line or all the other things, different country, all this. No, but that you're talking about the Supreme Court, so that's what I'm doing to the Supreme Court, and I understand what he said today. I mean I can quick give you the whole story what he said, but the position on the Supreme Court because they asked me on the show and that was his position.
So, Mr. Goya, Mr. Nangwe, why not do this with 3 here? Why not 3 of us take a vote and send it to the people of Liberia? Look, hey, this is the decisions of the Supreme Court. They asked us to vote, and we have voted in the interest of our people. But here is the thing here. Sissy, let me just bring you in here. Sure. I'm kind of a little trouble if people saying that, okay, if the Supreme Court takes a decision, what are the lawmaker, because it's the first branch of government, whether they will accept it? In the first place, if this would not be accepted, why they decided to even go for here? Because both parties were invited. The Supreme Court listened to their arguments. So I'm not sure whether they're going to call them again to tell them. The essence of that was to listen to both parties, which they have done. Am I correct? The last something that both parties, the team lawyers, they argued that, correct? That was sort of live opening.
And here's my confusion. People are talking about this thing as if to say it is a whole new judgment. This was a bill to ask the Supreme Court to explain its ruling. And a new ruling here. Like you have to explain the ultra-virus. And chances are they're going to get from that Latin phrase and they're going to use cucatono. And that will be the end of it. and we will be done. It would have come from a foreign land to Boncante, and they say we are one, and everybody can go in their own corner and interpret what we are one mean, whether it be Kogana, the new jumper, or the new Ford man, or whatever that one come down to. Look, man, I don't like to prejudge what the Supreme Court is gonna rule. I like to wait and listen to them and let them rule and give us their reasoning. Because for me, I am sitting and waiting how they are going to weave this cloth. Because Terry and I think Moses and other people have spoken about this quite before he left. Say the justices say that our ultra-virus ruling meant that the Alamo speaker, the wireless speaker Kofa, is back in office. So then what happens? Does that compare the hotel speaker Kun to give all of the money that he got as speaker to refund that to the liberal coffers during his time as speakers, and then they pay back to Fonati what he's been missing? Does that also go to the point where the very justices, their salary that they've been taking that was passed in the budget under the gavel of the RLJ speaker Kun, were they receiving illegal money? And they themselves be sued for aiding and abetting the abrogation of the Liberian Constitution. So there are a lot of things they have to unwind if they go and say that Fonati Kofa is back to being speaker. There's a lot to unwind. There are a lot. There is a lot of laws. Everything that's been passed, would that be considered null and void? Contracts that have been approved and signed, people that we give money to honor this budget, we will go back and retrieve it. We sue the government of Liberia for knowingly breaching the Constitution of the Republic. That is a tough thing. It's not an easy thing. So the Supreme Court, one justice can run away and go to Nimba County and come by and say they didn't go to, how to call it, to State of the Union. That was their protest. But you still use the gas card, the gas coupon that was given to you to put gas in your car to go to Nimba County. And that was under the gavel of the RLJ hotel speaker. So I'm hoping to learn from this, really, because I want to agree with people that say that the Supreme Court itself added to the confusion in this case. Hey, if the argument by other people that this is not even the case they should take, that they cannot rule on another branch of government, if that is legal, then the Supreme Court itself should have dismissed the case when it went to it. The fact that she accepted to hear the case, that means that somehow the Supreme Court thinks that it has authority over this matter. It has jurisdiction over this matter.
That I agree with.
The people in the House that are saying the House does not cannot accept a ruling. Both factions have been in front of the Supreme Court through their lawyers to argue their point. So, which means they also appreciate the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court over this issue. Now, here is my problem. The Supreme Court should have come out instead of using that ultra virus, instead of saying Kukatono, should have been clearer than it was. It would have cleared out a lot of the problems we have. But the fact that we have all this argument and counter argument about what it means to be ultra virus, what it means that you don't have a setting, and if you don't have a setting, you cannot do certain things. They just carry us all around. I'm picking rich man can say, sit on came all right now doing fun. Why now what happened? You carry all around doing nothing.
Okay. Look, Namwe, these guys are giving me headache.
What you are doing, he carry you all around.
I know your point.
Mr. Namwe, these guys are trying to give us headache. You listen to Jerry Bacon washing. You listen to the political driving. You listen to the guy from Waterloo. The Minnesota politician came and took all the same thing Richmond did. He took all around.
He talk about the point.
Yeah, he definitely. How you call it? I don't know which speaker he weighed. You talk about the hotel speaker, You talk about what you say,
the wireless speaker for the animal.
Why were you calling him wireless speaker? I don't want to talk to that. But Victor, let's do this here. Who is really having a sleepless night as the result of this sort of whole mess that we have ourselves?
I think there might be two people. I think Richard Kuhn, I think, is having a sleepless night, and probably out of the rest of the 42. I think the president himself is having a sleepless night. I agree with James. I think the Supreme Court already made it clear where they stand on this matter. You know, what is coming up is basically, like Sister is saying, is just a clearer interpretation of what is said. Both sides, although I question why they are talking both sides. I mean, Kofa, except for Dixon Sibo and Marvin Cole, who at one point in time were threatening violence, you know, to break up, you know, the gathering. Other than that, Kofa has done nothing. He has made no appointments. He has stood up no committees. But the 43 has been all over the place. You know, they elected speaker, they set up committees, they went to Parliament to replace people. All of that they're doing, passing the budget and all of that. That's what the Supreme Court is saying. All of that is illegal. It's ultra-virus. So I think that
I have a lot of background noise. Can we I don't know where it's coming from, but let me see.
I feel like I'm phone CDC phone Kofa again. I hear you sing.
Okay. I can run CPV, I go to CDC. So I have to agree that I think we are almost definite where which side the Supreme Court is going to come down on. And as to the remedies available to the court, yeah, they may not have the security, you know, enforcement powers, but they have remedies available to them. And, you know, they can hold people in contempt. They can seize Oswald Twist. They can take his license. There are a lot of things they can do, you know. So they do have remedies available to them. And what they did say was also they affirmed that Kofa does have that authority to continue to go to session and call roll and declare absence. Those who want to, they can't compel them to come. But for me, that is affirming him that he is still the speaker. I hope when the clarification comes out, the 43 will not make this thing any more difficult than it has been for the past 6 months or so. You know, Kofa has indicated he's ready to resign. I think he just want to be properly, you know, unelected in office. So I think they should all give that, they should agree to the and go and in the assembly or whatever it is, and get the 49 and remove this man. But anything short of that, I think they will begin to incur the wrath of the citizenry. I think the people are tired with this thing. And I hope the executive will not once more continue to empower these people by taking Kofa security and giving the whole thing to Kun, by taking Kun and putting him on a plane and taking him all over the place from Ghana to everywhere, by inviting him to the State of the Nation address, in a sense, legitimizing him, sending Mo Ali and Yamalin to go and testify on his gavel. I think the president himself has complicated this thing. So I agree. I think the Supreme Court should be clearer this time and just tell us what it is that they want to tell us. You know, we are the audience now. They're speaking to. They're not speaking to the lawyer. Let them speak to this. Give us the street interpretation of what they mean, and you know, let's put this to rest so that the country will move on.
Let's put this to rest. What a fascinating conversation this evening. The old man on the wall, time has caught up with us. What a great conversation. Gentlemen, AFC had a conversation is peaceful because one person is not here tonight. One person is not here tonight.
Why you gotta go that route? Why you gotta go that route?
Now, why you gotta? You want to
stop? Deputy, yo.
But why you gotta go that route?
Look.
You gotta be number one. You gotta be number one in everything. You gotta rescue 2 here and rescue 3 here.
know why he talking for him. When they're not saying he link you to come to me, say, oh, say, I said, but why you can't go to your hole? He said, hey, man, let me up. That you the one you want counter for?
I mean, go on.
Gentlemen,
So
what
nothing
I-
happened. That's why. So nothing happened. That's why.
We're going to
It's
use
not
one
premeditated.
each. I think I sent an email. I shared something with you guys. I don't know who saw it, who didn't see it. The board, the man who called, he said board chairman, he said he didn't see it. Can you imagine? Yeah, the reason we have not made it public, I mean, everybody get a crazy time. We'll try to have some sort of meeting in the backyard, and then before we can come to the public, and that's what I did that. But what a great conversation. We're going to use 1 minute each to wrap it up. And I assume those things to do. We're going to make some daytime conversations in Liberia. The guys are in our gear. And then we'll get to our audience, our followers, to see how they can help us to get this thing going as well. But let's do a closing 1 minute each. Let's give something to our viewers, to our audience to take away, whether they like it or not, but we're going to give our view, our opinion. So let's see here. Let's go to Waterloo. Waterloo is a very consequential area when it comes to election here. Speak like there's a caucus taking place or whatever primary in Waterloo now. Okay, we're going to go to the prime. We're going to go to either Gonglo where and say the man who can jump over. Now, how they used to call bucket free? What they train they used to be doing those things, they'll be jumping those. How they call it?
Bucket taking free roll. Who bucket taking free roll?
They're jumping like I was jumping. Suppose you are going to fall down. I wonder why you are being like everything finished. Okay, so, Mr. Akwe.
Yes. So,
in a 1 minute conversation into context in 1
so
minute.
that the NIMA is going to be strong. It's going to be tight. And it's going to be the big one, and it's going to be a litmus test at 2029. So trust me, and Vice President Jeremiah is going to do all he can. But again, the people of Nima County, in my view, will definitely vote the individual with the best platform and who has the vision to add value to the life of the people of the country. That's what I think. And we should also not forget, this is the party of Prince Johnson, and the people want to preserve the legacy of Prince Johnson. They believe that they can do that if they have some program.
Thank you.
That's why I mean, that's why a lot of them believe. They believe all these people can be able to maintaining the legacy.
Thank you so much.
Told the Supreme Court now.
All right.
At least it is now clear that there's
Moses, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much. Let me go to Jerry Bacom Boishin, the man from William and Doro.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to Nima issues. I mean, we'll take care of it.
Anything, not necessarily Nima. Anything you want to close.
No, I said Nima will take care of herself. So that's why it's hard. But yeah, one thing I want to talk about this evening, and was caught my attention today, and being in the news for a while now. The former First Lady, the former Senator, the former Vice President, alleged that she had not been taking pay or she had not getting her benefit. The question that came to my mind was, or is, you are the former Senator, former First Lady, former Vice President, and you are not active to see the benefit that you know is beneficial to you. And the legislature of what Mr. Dana said today, since 1972, and the Constitution, 1972, 1986, we changed our Constitution. And you are the former, now you're complaining? I mean, I feel for her as a lady and as a mother, but you as a former senator, you have all the power to verify this thing before you left office. And you're also president of the Senate. Thank you.
Okay. Wow. Moses from Delaware, Wilmington, Joe Barrington there. Let's hear you. Cut the case here. Well, what is the message tonight for us to go with?
My message tonight is that the people need to rise up and look at the situation as something that is somewhat important to that country of what happened in our legislative body. And the people, I know it's difficult for them to understand, but at some point in time, they need to rise up and start holding their representatives accountable. You elected these people. There are a lot of things going on that is deterring the work of our legislative body. And if the legislators are not fully seated, that means the executive is not supposed to function. And I think it's a violation of the Constitution that the administration is functioning, even with the legislator in its saga and its situation that they've been in. If people had looked at it earlier from the perspective that the legislators need to be seated so that administration and judiciary can work, the other two branches of government, I think this would have been addressed a long time ago. Take politics out of that. This is the constitutional matter when it comes to that. But again, politics played a role. I think whatever the intervention was, it should have taken a long time ago to even, not give us a position to burn down the Capitol and all that stuff for us to be where we are. And that case is still pending. There's nothing happening with the case. So I hope that the people will rise up and start asking some real questions to their representatives.
Okay, thank you so much.
I hope you stick to the 1 minute, Mr. Presiding.
What's that?
I said, I hope you will stick to the 1 minute.
I spoke for 1 minute, I think. Right?
These are the cause trouble in the country. That's you brought the whole majority divided horse here. That way, we're not breaking it here. Okay, Mr. Goya.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I want to speak on the Nimba County thing because my brother, Akwe decided to go there. So, we are Lufians getting involved in Nimba County. But I'll tell the people, I want to start where Moses ended, on the rising up. Nimba County has to rise up. I think this is where you start to put a check on the government. If you believe that the trend that this country is going in right now needs to be corrected, I support Jose Yimabwaka, but I think he needs people in the Senate that will help him correct his course and hold him accountable. It is not the angel of chaos, Samuel Griega. Samuel Griega is not the change agent. He is an angel of chaos. He brought chaos into the House of Representatives. He's managed to bring chaos into Nimba County. This is a guy that you are going to elect, that the only thing he can claim to have done while Prince Johnson was alive, besides leaving the party that Prince Johnson belonged to, he will not join the main party when the man dead. He is not a savior. He has never been in battle like Prince Johnson was for you. He can only jump over dead body. He only jumps over dead bodies, and he has managed everywhere he's gone to bring chaos. So I'll tell you in Nimba County, what do you want to do? Somebody who gives you your fresh yellow machines as a county, as a sitting superintendent, it ain't going nowhere. Somebody who's always been there, somebody who brings sound judgment to the people. Are you going to elect somebody who tells you that your children, your grandchildren can be nobody, cannot be anything but baby man? Now what I'm telling you, that you should say that in the background. I'll tell you this for sure. Let Samuel Griega continue to keep his chaos in the house. He is the reason we have this majority black right now. If y'all want to be having majority black in the Senate, y'all want to be having an RLJ President pro tempore, y'all send Samuel Griega to the Senate.
Samuel Griega, wow. You can look at my way, Coca or Coca. And the liberals Okay, Mr. Nangwe.
Yes, it is really a good night to be here tonight. No Gestapo style moderators. So I'm really excited that I was able to come in tonight. Thank you all for the conversation. I think Nimba is a harbinger of things to come as we go towards 2029. I think there are a lot of us who are watching Nimba. It will make and break some people. I will pay attention to Edith and Koga, but I will not discount Blevon. I think he's picking up something that looks to me like he could really be the upset candidate here. But April 22nd is not too far. We're all watching. As the Supreme Court, I don't know why it's taking them this long. I think the longer it takes them to calm down with this clarification, I think the higher the probability of some kind of, I don't want to say interference, but something, uh, unwholesome happening. So they need to come out and do this thing already. I think the Chief Justice is traveling. I heard, it's taking them too long. So we're tired of waiting. Let them come and give us what it is so we can move the country ahead. Thank you very much, and thank you to the audience as well. Great show.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, let's hear Terry.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sue, for the show. I watched a movie called 0 Day, and something in that movie really triggered me. The former president was at a crossroad, and his daughter, his only daughter, because he had lost his son, conspired with some of those guys in the house, and they was part of a team that carried on a suicide bombing that led thousands of Americans to die. So when he finally found out, the president told him, say, you don't have to do this to allow your daughter to go. We can find something else. But he said something. He said, anytime you have the opportunity to do what is right, do it. Because probably it set a precedent for hundreds of centuries of generation to come. Somebody will say tomorrow that, oh yes, in history, after you are dead and gone, that this man said this when this was this. In as much, I say this to say that in as much that the other side for the law for JMB is holding me to agree with this saga of the everyday. Huh? No, hey, you see, you want to take me out of thought.
Oh, this is very interesting. The other side, we saw.
Give me 10 minutes. Then you will have the clip to keep it for posterity. Okay, you know what I wanted to say, I will not say it again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wow, this is quite interesting.
So my support for JMB, right, is pulling me on that side. But the truth to be told is that if the
please don't deny all our prophecy, Reverend. Please say it. We beg you.
They started with a story,
if the Supreme Court rules,
stop preaching.
Yeah, the partner will not give me. If the Supreme Court rules, my prayer to the majority black is to follow suit with the rule of the Supreme Court, because posterity will judge you. To add to that also, in as much as Koga is a guy that I admire, I will not prefer Koga for the senatorial position, because Koga, for my faith and what I believe, Koga does not. I believe, I don't want to say I believe, but I suspect he might win. But Koga is not the right man for the job. In a lesser evil will be Mrs. Gonglo. That is my own take, and I'm trying to be on record nationally or internationally, because I want to be on record that I added my voice and contributed to what was right, even though something in me is saying be on the other side. But my spirit will not rest if I commit myself to that which is not right. Thank you.
The Holy Ghost is powerful. Something we don't know those people who are calling.
I'm coming to your church Sunday. Thank you. I'm bringing my offering.
Wow. This is interesting. I thought the pastor was going to tell her how Moses crossed the Red Sea, but he own a story then that so political movie to be watching.
I'm telling you, the pastor.
You see, everybody here tonight, how the liberal is not here, how peaceful this conversation, everybody having a great time here, Jerry cooperating and everybody and stuff like that. So, Dr. Mali, if you listen to all of these tabata from Jerry back on to the Moses, Akwe, Sissy is, I don't know where he come from a few days. He's all man with Charlie Monk from Koga Charlie Monk. He's all man with him. Okay, we are about to go.
But you see, there are three things that rule the world. There are three things that rule the world. So you have to take into consideration.
Yeah, y'all do your Nimati after the show. Let's hear Dr. Mali.
Well, I think
the most key thing here.
I think all the panelists have got some value point tonight, and there are a lot of takeaway if the listeners and the supporters are listening. I mean, this was a very great analysis tonight. But here is my take. There is a common denominator that cut across the voters in Liberia. One, they don't believe in manifesto. They believe in handout. Two, they are culturally and traditionally inclined. They vote for you when they know you. Even if you had a good manifesto, they will not vote for you. So, in that much, I would want to say that Edith could create a balance of power, and I would want for her to win. But practically speaking, if this Coca guy, he had gone the other side, he's jumping over body, he's dancing, he tried to come up with all these traditional things to identify with the people. And some people see him as, yes, the Senate incarnate. It is resonating with the people because this is who they are in Liberia. When you see the people vote for you, and if you even confess to them that I have stolen and I have come with their money to share with you, you win the election. So this is the type of voter we have in Liberia. In that much that either we have some good things, trust me, a female status is another thing. Why should a woman replace a zoo? We should take that seriously into consideration. So Koga, he may receive a serious condemnation in all cycle tonight, but he little thing resonating with the people, and that's scary. And the next thing to conclude is on the issue of the Supreme Court. I strongly believe that the Supreme Court has the issue of credibility right now. They play with the case they play with the case far too long, to the point where even her lordship had to apologize. So when a decision even come up, what is the credibility? That is another issue. But let me just leave this with the panelists. Assuming when Prince Johnson passed away the last time, assuming His Excellency, the President of Liberia, came up and tell the whole government, we are not going to the wake, what would have been the reaction? Someone would say, the government is not mature enough. They would have classified the government in many ways. So it's the same thing with the Supreme Court right now. They have eaten some of the fruits that are illegal. Are they coming by to go against this thing? So they are rather in the box right now, to be frank with you. It rather worried them. And that's why her lordship is about to travel again.
All right. Wow. Thank you, sir. What a dissenting views, opinions expressed here this night.
Well,
gentlemen, I want to thank you so much.
Depend the urgency of the law or the case are before the Supreme Court. They can do expeditiously. It doesn't matter because Supreme Court take maybe a year, a month before they can run out of the decision. So it doesn't matter when they come in.
This evening, you're seeing it. Don't listen, you can see. The liberal abandoned his people tonight.
Good night.
Yo, can I ask this a question?
Terry, we're still waiting for the side. The side you talk about, I'm very concerned. The other side.
The program finished. What question you want to ask? Question on the liberal?
No, I want to ask this. Listen, what has Tewan Goglo endorsed? What's her name? Edith yet?
Why you want me to be spokesman for Tewan?
No. I'm not talking about Tewan. I'm talking about Edith.
Moses, I see you coming. I know the fuck of politics. I know the fuck of politics. But for the record, yes, for the record, Tewan Goglo is on record endorsing Edith Goglo.
Yes?
Yeah.
So he did that already?
Did he do that with the media?
What?
Did he do that with the media yet?
He did that. Yeah, he actually even released a whole page on why he was endorsing her. Yep.
Really? I think you should share that with us.
Yes, I will.
Please share that with us.
Okay,
yeah. And it's a good thing that Kumis is going to be joining him to support.
No, it's not a good thing. It's not a good
thing. Now you know Kumi. Now you know Kumi. You see? You got it. So Baba, man.
We will
What are you looking for? The show finished.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
but
and that's what I felt sorry for them. Also on them so much. So join me tomorrow and we'll have a wonderful time. I've been listening all.
Who's that?
Shame on you, man. You run away from all that he and Terry and Jim will talk about that. Shame on you.
I think you just found a bottle. You've been looking for a bottle all night. You just found it. I'll tell you more every now and then. Every time you just take the bottle for you, then you go for it.
You will excuse yourself.
Okay, so gentlemen, before we go, I think I share that information for those who get it. I just we have to find time to have a meeting in the backyard, come up with some.
I have not received that budget. I have not received that budget link yet.
But you're not part of the core group.
No.
On the core team. You put on the core team. So you're not part of the core group.
You want to confuse, you want to stay trouble.
The board chair have been threatening me, so it's possible he might have deleted it.
No, that was so he took the man he made the core group. He put confidential on the bottom.
Don't call trouble here. You can't eat this already. You don't bring it to us, please. That's Mali, Victor, we are on call. You and the pastor, the Iowa man, go to Liberal.
No, but nobody want me in that group. So I'm a problem again.
You're too fussy. Nobody will take you. You're too fussy. You and people making plan all day. So,
but Koga want you.
I'm not going to be like him because for me, I'm from Grand Gidi. I got a part to Nima, but he can't go through Nima. That's something you don't know. When they take
no, I follow that Male, they ban me for going to faculty. Now, John behind Koga, that one when I black me on Facebook, so I can't go Nima no more.
All right, gentlemen, you're good night.
You serious? I think it's
good night.
Good night, guys.
Okay, well, for this evening, in tonight's editions of All Things Considered, I want to thank all our viewers and listeners across the globe, whether you are in Liberia to here. And again, if you want to form part of being the analyst here, just let us know. We will bring you here as long as you have that sort of tasting. Again, just to let you know, we will be launching a major fund drive. It will be the first of its kind on the Liberia Public Radio. And we do believe we have a strong argument for which we'll be asking you to all our followers. Lamin, goes with me, Collie, Koya Menji Bade, James Double. A good community leader right here in my own Ocean State. You will be getting a phone call. We want to share our vision. Everyone on Sister Rita, of course, the family got to be part of it, of course. Boy McConnell, please, Milton, Nire, and Emmanuel Tier. Let's see, of course, Fatu is on board, it's obvious. maybe we'll do the liberal versus the moderate or the conservatives on this network, and let's see what's going to happen. Of course, Elena, I will be reaching out to you. We have done something, and I think we have enough reason to ask what we want to do. So for this reason, we want to be reaching out to each and everyone. It's going to be a sort of open. There will be a lot of options in terms of how you want to intend to make your donation. Joyce, of course, you are no exception to this. We want to thank you so much for everything, for your time, for your commitment to this network. Aliyu, of course, we're going to be reaching out. And Beatrice, thank you so much. You always here. And I would believe we have just come a rightful time. Mr. Benjamin to J. Ross, also good to have you. And of course, Clarence David, one of the top surrogates for the liberal progressive in this business here. I don't know, after the show, Clarence and the liberal can always be talking for whatever reason, I don't know. Breakable, yeah, I did call you. Maybe I want to call you to Livingstone. Thank you so much. Yeah, again, folks, that does it this evening. Of course, I am Alfonso Zienso on the Liberal Public Radio side. You took the lead the other day. Thank you so much, Mr. Yatet. Thank you so much for your donation. Lion 10, Yakoma, may I call you? You didn't? Let me know when the time reaches. Yeah, absolutely. We already at the time. We're gonna start hopefully this week. We're gonna go for a long period of time. We will give people time. We know people gotta meet up with their own bills, own obligation here. So not in that rush, desperate. So we gotta give people a reasonable time frame. We got a proposal from a team back home. I've shared with the team. We're gonna have our own in-house conversation. Yes, we have done what we did, but you want for people to help you. You yourself, you gotta help yourself. So they just said to our jump on the enemy say he board chair that time to do the board chair work. Then I just coming on the program to intimidate people. The work of the board is to go out to solicit, but on a board chair that will harass people on a live view. So we'll see. So we'll see how it looks like. Yeah, so it is what it is. Of course, Mr. Morgan, Victor, look, no exceptions. We need that help. Going, thank you so much for always being here with us. Until then, that's how we're going to draw the curtain this evening. So we're all waiting the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia and bring down the decision. Who can run? Who can run stay? What's going on? They can't keep having our country to be wise. Until then, have a pleasant evening. And thank you for being part of this program. Again, let us know if you have an event. There are so many ways that we can also be part of what you do. It doesn't matter where you are. You have an event, you have a functions. We also bring you live coverage. It's done simultaneously both Facebook and YouTube. So you're going to be there. You know, YouTube get this, Facebook get a sort of different thing. Now, after certain times, videos are deleted automatically. So I don't know what that change is all about, but it is why it is. But let us know you have a business, you're doing something both here in Liberia, you get a function in Liberia. That's another way of giving. If you get a function in Liberia, just let us know. We have a team there that can cover it. If you're doing anything, you know, we can. It doesn't matter. But not just only in Monrovia, in Banga, in Lofa, in Grand Jide, in Mount Gibby. And part of our strategy now is to expand in all of the 15 political subdivisions. But we can't just do that by ourselves. And this is why we're going to be tapping into your good hands as well. Until then, have a pleasant evening. And by God's willing, we'll be back here again with more programming right here on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. I'm Alfonso Zian, so have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
Prezi Olivier. Olivier no blood on the way, Monsieur Pedra. Papa, Isa. Canada. Bega Olivier no blood on the way. Siapa mau? Mama dia. Ajiwa. Money eba yo blow na. Adidie yeyo. Mama kwate mi onyo ndalo. Papa yo someone dey play baba. Sapa overe.
Why? Look, it's good to have Todd back. I know Todd very well. He started this movement with me back in 2015, 2014. So it's good to have him back. You know, he's a prodigal son, left and came back. He's bringing new energy to the party, which I think is good for the party. And I encourage other partisans to come back with energy, new partisans to join up with energy, so we can offer Liberians a real choice.
The ANC just endorsed Marakiye Gongowule. What prompted this decision for the ANC and you, Mr. Cummins?
So the ANC looked at the candidates. Some reached out to us, some did not. We assessed the needs of the county. We looked at the strengths and weaknesses of the candidates, and we concluded that Ida Bongo-Ware was the vice president to represent him in the Senate. And by the way, the decision was almost unanimous. It was amazing. I think there was maybe one dissension. Everybody else supported the decision. So we feel very strongly about that. And
we'll take two more questions.
With
this endorsement, does this mean that the ANC will begin actively campaigning for Ida Bongo-Ware in Nimba County?
Yes, we are encouraging all of our partisans in Nimba, other counties, to go and campaign on our behalf. To man the polling stations.
We are first being in the campaign.
Thank you for taking the time to come here. My name is Edith Bongo-Ware, the lone female senatorial candidate in this 2025 by-election that is slated for April 22nd, 2025. That's pretty much about two and a half weeks from now. I'm glad to have you guys here.
So it is alleged that on yesterday you were attacked, your team was attacked in a town called Berkeley. We can talk about that.
So before we go to that, because for me that is a distraction, I want to talk about why we continue to contest in this county. For nearly 14 years, I've contested in 3 consecutive elections, this making it the 4th. The reason I continue to contest is because I have a vision for this county. And visions, as you may know, can only be well implemented in the vision takers. Nobody can implement fully what your vision is or what your visions are. And so,